We ready to go?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday afternoon. It is indeed. Mike, my friend, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good, especially after just watching one particular 3 o'clock kickoff, mate. I don't know about you, but sometimes certain results put a smile on your face, don't they?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's been to be fair, I think Everton conceded right at the end in their game as well. So Brighton got a point there. Of course, the game you're alluding to right now is Manchester United.
Unreal. Literally. Right. This is a Liverpool channel. Me and Ben are going to be talking about the final, so stay around for that. There's lots to talk about. But we literally load up, get ready to go, and then just a Wobie in the background, 2-1. Come on, man. This is peak, man. New era. Eras are meant to come to an end, right? That's the saying.
That's what he said, mate. That is what he said.
Bro.
But yeah, like Mike says, we are here to speak about a much bigger football club than Manchester United, a much more successful club than Manchester United. That is what's the word? Statistically factual. We are more successful than them. We're bigger than them in every single sense of the word. So please make sure you stick around. We're going to be discussing everything Carabao Cup final, including Salah and Darwin and our thoughts. Because guys, I hate to break it to you, but me and Mike. Well, actually, Mike's got a link to the medical stuff. So maybe Mike might be able to find out for us, but I don't have any information. But we will do our best to give our opinions. Mike, first and foremost, mate, I've not spoken to you in a while. Let's just briefly touch on Liverpool and how we've been recently since you last came on. How have you, sort of viewed the team in terms of the injuries we've had and sort of how we've managed to just get on with it and get the wins we need, mate?
Well, I think the last time we spoke, right, it's been a while. Normally, obviously, I'm on regularly. Had a couple of weeks or not being on, but like, yeah, I think last time we spoke, we were looking at Trent coming back fit. I think it was just after the Arsenal game. I think was just round about when I came back. Now since then, we've had a lot of injuries just piled back up. Obviously, the injury list is stacked back up. Performance-wise, I've got no complaints. The only game that's let us down really is the Arsenal game. But there's you can say Arsenal were just better on the day. Really, there were obviously other things, but on the day we just didn't perform the way we could have. But away from that, even regardless of the way the injuries have stacked up, the performances have continued to be really solid. Midweek was a heart attack. I think they I was very calm throughout. I think first half, that if you're on social media at all, when you look at social media during a game anyway, it's not good for you. I was watching that first half of football, and every time I looked at my phone, it was a different player that was getting thrown into the woods, getting thrown under the bus by fans, which happens. We all react. I think a lot of us were just very tense being 1-0 down to Luton. But half time, obviously we'll talk about Klopp referring to Barcelona to these lads, but the squad utilization is just it's the best I've actually seen it in the Klopp era. There's not a single player that isn't getting a minute. There's not a single player that's not carrying his own weight. Robertson was out, it was Simicast Robbo was out, it was Gomez. Entire midfield needs to get swapped out. Endo, Elliott, Gravenberg, everyone has stepped up. Kwanzaa, Bradley, Kelleher, the academy have been utilised incredibly well as well. McConnell. So it's been really impressive. And there's obviously a lot of negative news around the likes of, Szoboszlai, Trent, Alisson picking up injuries, Jota, of course, as well. But trying to see the silver lining, it's about how we've reacted as a team, as a unit, and it's just like you say, bro. The squad is just amazing, and I think we're living in a moment which you and I and fans will look back on in 5 years, 10 years, and go, "This was special." And the only way you can really solidify that when talking amongst other fans that aren't Liverpool fans is to have silverware to back it up. So that's why Sunday is obviously super important. It is the biggest game of our season so far because it's a final. But what about yourself? Where's your mind been at when you're watching this? I know you're quite level-headed for the most part. So when it comes to these games, how have you been?
Yeah, no, I was exactly the same. I was watching the Luton game at home. And like an idiot, I went in a space at half time just to see what sort of people were saying. Worst mistake of my life. Harvey Elliott needs to be sold. Luis Diaz isn't good enough.
Luis Diaz
Robertson's
is
missed.
Markovic. Yeah,
We missed this player. We're not good without that player. And you're
yeah,
right. It's just everyone's emotions were all over the place. And I didn't even think, and guys, this isn't just go on a tangent about Luton. We are going to get into the final, I promise. But I
100%.
didn't think we played that bad in the first half against Luton. And I was just like, if we play like that in the second half, we'll probably score a couple of goals because we've had the chances. We'll be fine. It was the resilience of the squad to just keep going and going and going. And you just saw
Yeah.
how much it meant to the players and the fans and the manager at full time.
Oh
And
yeah. Jesus.
that just, I think that game just epitomizes our season because so many times this season we've gone a goal down, and again the same people have said the same stuff. But this team, I think it's 22 points we've gained in the league from losing positions, which is
Incredible.
insane. Ideally, yes, you don't want to win games by going a goal down because it's not sustainable. In some games, like if we went a goal down against Man City or a better side,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder. But
Hmm.
to me, it shows the mentality of the squad. And the last thing I'll say on this before we move on to the final is that it just shows to me what an amazing and incredible manager Jurgen Klopp is, because who would have seen, right? I know we knew Milner was probably going to go, but out of the midfielders that went, so we had Milner, Fabinho, Henderson, all
Naby.
went. Naby and Ox, yeah, but don't really. NPCs
But
won't
bodies,
really.
they're bodies, you know.
Their bodies, yeah, their bodies. But out of the leaders and the captains and all of that stuff, that Fabinho, the best DM we've had in my lifetime, Henderson, the club captain in Liverpool's most successful spell in my lifetime, and Milner is just James Milner. You
He's
know
the
what I
raw
mean?
one. Yeah, James Milner speaks
Exactly.
for himself.
So you lose all those figureheads, yet you still carry on. In fact, you don't just carry on; you improve the team because obviously it isn't last season. It's a seamless sort of transition. Like everyone was like, at the start of the season, we'll finish, top four. We might grab a trophy, fine, whatever. But we're on a title charge. We're top of the league going into mid March. In fact, the end mid February. Sorry,
Yeah.
and it's like no one saw this coming. Even the most optimistic of Liverpool fans would have said last season, like, oh, just get back in the top four, maybe compete for a trophy. That's fine. So I think, first of all, he's the one. Him and Pep and all his staff, to be fair, because he'll be the first to say it's not just him, to get us into a final straight away. The first opportunity to win a trophy this season, we're there. We're top of the league. We're in the Europa League round of 16, and we've got a favourable fixture. I know it might not be as easy as some people make out, but I will just be honest
You're,
with that.
you're always going to back us because of our European
Yeah,
experience. So
exactly. And we're in
naturally,
the FA Cup, and
yeah,
we're 2 games away from Wembley again in the FA Cup. So that's my point. I think Klopp deserves the utmost respect and credit for everything. And if we win this game tomorrow, it is sort of the first one that we can win this season, and I don't think it will be the last because I still think we're going to win Europa League at least. And it's just a like a statement for the season, really. Like, we're here. Yes, Klopp's going, but this team is at this level now where we're going to try and sweep up all these trophies.
yeah,
And I'm getting 21-22 vibes, to be honest, where are Liverpool playing 10 out of 10 champagne football week in, week out? No,
no,
we're not. You'd be a fool to say that everything's perfect at all times. But, Mike, we're getting the results. In the cup competitions, we're progressing each round.
mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, when you win trophies, or if you want to win trophies, that's all you can really ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's really peculiar where we are, because I do think, at the start of the season, obviously the phrase Liverpool 2.0 was thrown around a lot. It died down rapidly when Klopp announced he was leaving. Suddenly we were all like, okay, maybe not. But, hey, big up Jamie. I know you didn't say big up me, bro, but still big up Jamie. Great dude. Hope you're doing well, bro. Listen, I think, we're in what normally for most clubs, including ourselves in the past, would be a year one transition season, etc. And we have surpassed our own expectations in a way. I know you go into every season, a lot of fans will say we're going to win the league. You know where my mind was at, Ben, from the get-go. I've only just conceded we're in the title race about a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, it took me a while to get there. But no, we're in a great position. I think what's really crucial, though, for these young lads is this doesn't become another nearly moment. I think early on in the Klopp reign, although we were phenomenal and we had a lot of phenomenal moments, in the Premier League specifically, there's a lot of nearly moments, and you can always put that down, of course, to City. You can put that down to external factors, whatever you want to do. And there's a lot of things were out of our hands. But I think these lads, because of their age, if we get things over the line now, it's not going to be like 21-22, where these players were in their prime, 21-22, when the quad charge was on. A couple of lads maybe were just past their prime, but were overperforming, right? This time round, for the most part, these lads are not at the start of their career, but they're at the start of their Liverpool career. They're at the start of the prime part of their career. You get these titles under your belt now. That is a really special thing, and I think it would really spear us on into whoever takes over after Klopp, whether it be Xabi, whether it be the guy from Lisbon, whether it be whoever. It will put these lads in a great spot. I think the worst scenario we could have is this entire season is a almost season, almost similar to what that quad season was, because you come away from nearly winning Europa hypothetically, nearly winning the Prem hypothetically, whatever it is, and then you're deflated coming into this new manager coming in. So I think it's really crucial, although it is good for Klopp's legacy, it's important for Liverpool's future that we don't allow it to become a nearly moment. And I know, of course, you can turn around and say the injury list we have, which I'm sure we'll come on to in a moment. But it's really important tomorrow that we start off on the right foot for this stretch into the end of the season.
Yeah, of course, mate. And there's a few comments on here. I think we've already covered that one. Ishan says the squad is just amazing. Luke says, afternoon, lads. Currently heading to Leeds on train. Whilst watching you guys. That is incredible, mate. I love the support. Thank you so much. Jamie says, big up, Ben. And then he says, sorry, Mike. Have a great weekend, boys. We wake up Monday morning, still top of the league, and a nice silver trophy. That is the absolute dream, mate. Would be a great Monday morning if so. Luke says, getting a coach from Leeds at 6:30 a.m. to go Wembley. Can't wait to be there cheering on the boys. Luke, I'm very jealous of you right now. My brother got lucky in the ballot and he got one, and I was very unlucky and I didn't get one. So I'm currently plotting on how to sort of make my brother ill. If anyone's got any ideas on how I could do that, then please let me know. And I will give it my best shot. Eva says, I can see Maka getting man in the match tomorrow if we win. 100% Maka is going to be crucial. And Mike, I'll let you get on to Maka in a bit because Maka is Mike's favourite player, I believe, at the minute. And yeah, even when I was saying that Maka started a bit slow, which I felt he did, Mike was still saying he's the best midfielder in the squad.
Yeah, I had unnecessary bias. What's going on, brother? As well, we see your comment from, what's your name there? Sorry, it's not even popped up for me.
Dom Liverpool.
Hey, big up, bro. Listen.
And this just I don't want to leave this lad out. Yeah. I really can't read. Is that Arabic?
I believe so.
If that's Arabic, my friend, I really can't read it, but I hope you're good. Thank you for tuning in, mate. It means a lot. And let us know where you're watching from as well, guys, by the way. Like Luke says, he's watching from Leeds. Everyone let us know where you're watching. It's always good to see what sort of place we are reaching out to on this platform. So please let us know. But yeah, hope you're good, mate. If you could put in the chat how to sort of like say your name. Is it phonetically? Is that like
Arabic? There'll be a translation to English. So if you can put if you by chance have the English translation of your name, that's great. If not, no worries. Let us know where you're listening from. And all around, guys, make sure you smash that like button. The like button puts us in the algorithm, helps more people see it, and we numbers game, boys. It's a numbers game. But going on to the game, that's most important. Before we talk about Maka, go on, man.
If we don't start getting numbers and likes, we're going to have to start screaming and shouting and calling all our players rubbish, because that seems to be the way to go to getting subs and likes.
Listen, I don't want to do it. Listen, if you want me and Ben to get on here, right, and you want us to start our first minute just trashing every player, trashing the club, yelling, screaming, we can't do that. We don't want to do that. We're trying to build that modest, nice, normal chat you'd have in the pub kind of vibe without all that hysteria. And the way you can do that is, you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button. New Jersey.
I've been to New Jersey. I've been to Holston's where the Sopranos was. You know, the diner in Sopranos. I've been there. I've sat where what's the main character called again? That's absolutely shocking from me.
Tony Soprano.
It's Tony Soprano, and there's a little sign on this table. This seat is reserved for Tony Soprano. I've sat there, man.
Bro, that's
the absolute best cookie and cream milkshake I have ever had in my entire life. But anyway, waffle. We're waffling. We've got a final tomorrow, and we're talking about milkshakes. Mike, I want to get into this comment because I think Sebastian also said something about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you personally, now I'm saying personally because I don't want people to clip you and say, Mike, you said Darwin and Salah were there, or you said Darwin and Salah weren't there.
Yeah, I'm ready.
In your opinion, mate,
mm-hmm.
Are Darwin and Salah genuine doubts, or is this a bit of old-fashioned mind games from the manager?
In my opinion, all right. In my opinion, I think one of them will be in the squad definitely tomorrow. That's
Nunes.
all. That's what I think. That's what I think. That is an honest opinion. That is definitely not filled in anywhere. I think genuinely one will be in the squad tomorrow. So obviously, I was under the impression was going to be in the squad tomorrow, and
Oh,
I was very
W
comfortable
though.
with that. But this week, it's came out that that's not a chance. So take anything I say with a pinch of salt. Obviously, it means nothing. But I think one will be in the squad tomorrow. Definitely, the other is definitely going to be super late. But we'll see what happens. I think if we go into tomorrow, not if, but fans should be prepared to not be disappointed. So go into tomorrow thinking those two are just definite no's. The squad we have had on Wednesday is the squad that we definitely have for the final. That's what you need to kind of look at. So with that in mind, the lineup somewhat picks itself. I can't imagine there's anyone you're going to try and swap in. I'd probably say, well, you're going to have Robertson left back. You know what I mean? Kelleher in goal. You Canate, Van Dijk. You've got your Bradley, your Endo, your Maka, your Gravenberg, your Gakpo. Yeah, that's it right there. That's exactly what you're looking at right
I already
there.
had it Blue Peter style, what I prepared earlier. You know what I mean? It was that easy. The only question really is, and I think it's a big fat no. There's two questions, I think, to be fair.
Well,
One, do you honor Jarrell Quansah because he's played pretty much most of the games? But I think in these finals, you want your best two pairings, especially when we've already got Kelleher in goal. No disrespect to Kelleher, he's not Allison. That's
yeah, I feel
pretty
you.
evident. So I would want the better centre back, and
Yeah,
that's no shame on Jarrell Quansah that he's not as good as Konate. He's an unbelievable young
not at
product,
all.
and he can easily go on to be as good as Konate in years to come. But I think Ibu, he's been there, he's been at Wembley before, he's played in these big occasions for us. I think it's simple that it's
It's
Van
important.
Dijk and Ibu tomorrow. And then obviously the left back is Joe Gomez or Andy Robertson. Mike, I don't know where the Robertson like weird thing online, and I will say online because it's not in the stadium. It's never been something that the fans in the ground have ever, thought about. But yeah, this whole thing about Robertson not being this or that,
Yeah,
he starts in finals for me, mate. I don't care. You want your best players, you want your most experienced players. And
yeah.
Andy Robertson, he's never really let us down in, I think, in the Champions League final, the one we played most recently, he was at fault for one of the goals. But again, when you want your leaders, your experienced heads, Andy Robertson starts every day, doesn't he?
Yeah, listen, I think I fully understand the argument for Gomez. I love Joe Gomez. I think I'd love him to be in this team, and I think he would be in this team if it weren't for the emergence of Bradley. If it weren't for just how Bradley is slotted into that role perfectly, he would be in this team. Gomez over Robertson is a really difficult one. I think Gomez has been Mr. Reliable this season, which is a wonderful change of pace because of the injuries he's had to deal with. He's someone
Oh,
that I
most
personally,
improved player of the season,
well,
easily.
he's back to his best. We remember what he
Yeah.
used to be like, and he's back to that, and that comes with game time, and that comes with confidence and his fitness, and he's just been brilliant. And for me, if you're talking about outside shout for player of the season, he'd be in there just because of the effect he's had, and he's plugged that many holes. You know what I mean? But for the final, there's a reason on Wednesday Gomez played the amount he did and Robertson was used sparsely. It's because he's playing on Sunday, and it's the same with Canate. The reason Kwanzaa played Wednesday is because Canate is playing Sunday. The
Yeah.
one thing that surprised me about midweek specifically was the amount of minutes that was it Gakpo. Well, Gakpo's the one who played the full 90, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was the amount of minutes Gakpo got. I thought that would have been managed. Same with I thought Mac would have came off earlier as well, but just because I think Sunday could be a 120-minute all the way kind of game, which is why the bench is going to be. Yeah, I really do think that. I think one reason Konate is super important, and it's important Bradley has a good game, is because of Nkunku if he is fit. I don't know if he's fit because I don't keep up with Chelsea, but I do know
Don't
he's
blame
been
me.
performing very well for them. And when he played at Anfield, he was their best player head and shoulders. Cole Palmer, if we allow him to get into advanced positions, is very threatening as well. And so they've got their own players we have to deal with. So it's just important everyone's on the ball. And with a weakened team, we don't have Nunez leading that press. We don't have Salah to create a moment.
Big blow.
But in saying that, I thought second half specifically, I love Gakpo, to be clear. I just think this season I haven't seen Gakpo the way I used to see him. Maybe that's on me just looking for something that's not there. But I think in the second half, specifically against Luton, everything I love about Gakpo I've seen. The movement in behind, the quick play, the hold up play, the movement, off the ball specifically is what I love most. And the goal he scored, although you could say just right place, right time, he's controlled that header perfectly. Diaz as well, first half felt very Nunez-ish in his performance against Luton, in the sense it was all work rate, no end product, which it was a surprising lack of composure for that kind of lad. But then you've seen it in the second half, and I think those two lads, although may not be the lads that we've looked to this season for big moments, for the most part, they are certainly lads that can produce big moments and have produced big moments in a Liverpool shirt already. So I wouldn't be nervous if I seen this 11. I would implore fans not to be nervous either. There is a lot of quality here. And we've utilised our squad to a way where no one's lacking that sharpness. You know, not a single one of these are coming in where I go, are they going to mesh well? No, I think they'll all mesh really well. So I don't know. What are your thoughts when you see that front three specifically? Diaz, Gakpo, Elliott. What do you think?
Well, you just said there that you wouldn't be nervous with that team. Let me just tell you now, mate. I'm very confident in Liverpool 99% of the time, but when it comes to a final, I'm always a nervous wreck. And no matter what the team is, even in the Champions League final, everyone was like, it's Tottenham, we'll be fine. You know, Tottenham are never beating Liverpool in a Champions League final. And whilst I agreed, there's still a game of football to play.
Still
you
a game
know,
of
on
football.
that, there could have been a chance where maybe our forwards weren't at the office and one chance falls to Harry Kane or Son and they score and win the game. And then can you imagine that losing the Champions League final to Tottenham? So for me, there's always that fear of losing and that element of nerves. It's just natural when you get to these big games and there's so much at stake. So for me, I'm not entirely confident, but I don't rate Chelsea. So that's the saving grace. And I will just get to Chelsea's predicted lineup. I found one earlier, which I will put on the screen in a moment. But the saving grace is Chelsea aren't very good this season. Pochettino is not a manager that I rate. I think when he has these big games and he's got big decisions to make, he does tend to bottle it a bit.
You know what's interesting? Okay, right. No, so we can have a debate here. So on Poch, right? I think he is a really good manager for players that aren't at their peak. So what I mean by that is I think that he's really good at managing young players. He struggles with egos, which is why I don't think he did all too well at PSG, but he did really well at Tottenham, did really well at Southampton. I think Chelsea's a weird mesh at the moment of both. And I think he will succeed at Chelsea, and I think you see drippings of it because tactically brilliant against City. I thought tactically brilliant at City in both games, to be fair. And they are starting to slowly mesh together. And we've got to hope that we don't catch them when they click. Because when they click, they are dangerous when they click. I know I'm in the minority. I'm also very nervous as a football fan, just in general, when it comes to football. And, you know, I always give teams their praises. Ben has watched me talk about Luton for 15 minutes before when we went away. I was right. We drew. But, like, it's... I don't know, there is quality in that Chelsea side, but I do agree Poch tends to, in moments, get nervous. You've seen that with the City game as well, because he swapped to the back five to try and contain City rather than stay on the front foot where they were really looking probably more likely to get a second than anything else.
No, I agree. I think if they're on their day, they can cause us problems, of course, but we'll see what happens. This is a predicted Chelsea lineup that I did see earlier. It was Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Disasi, Cobble, and Chilwell as a back five, and Fernandez, Gallagher, Caicedo, Palmer, Jackson, Sterling. So, again, this is just a predicted lineup. I think this was from...
Nkunku mustn't be fit, then.
Standard, I think it was from.
Yeah, maybe Nkunku's not fit, then.
I did see that he's a doubt. Okay. If that is the lineup, Mike... Let me just get this comment on as well. This is the doubts. Sorry, this is injuries. James, Cucurella, Fofana, Ugochukwu, Lavia, Badasheli, and Chukwuemeka. And then on the doubts section on the website, it just says... Who does it say? It just says Silva. So it doesn't say anything really about Nkunku. But if that is the lineup that Chelsea put out tomorrow, where's your head at, mate? What are you thinking?
I think Sterling can produce a moment, but is always questionable. I think Cole Palmer's absolutely quality, but we nullified them really well at Anfield. I think Jackson is their version of Nunez in the sense that all the fans want him to do really well. He works really hard. He's got very questionable end products. First season Nunez is what I'm referring to there. Well, I think we have him in midfield. I really do. Just because I think although Enzo, Gallagher, and Caicedo have a lot of quality, I look at Endo, Mack, and Gravenberg, and I think technically and in terms of off the ball work, I think that's where the game's won. That's where most games are won in midfield. And I do think from just the names alone, obviously you don't know tactics, but the names alone, I prefer us in midfield. And who did you say they're playing centre back there?
So it was Disassi, Colwell, and wait, sorry, did I? Yeah, it's a 4-3-3. Sorry, I think I said back five, didn't I? Yeah, it's
Like you
4-3-3.
that's calm.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what do you think of the Sassy? We know Colwell. We know Colwell can be brilliant. I don't know much about the Sassy.
I think again, I think we've seen good in both from one of them. We've seen how good Cole can be in Brighton. I'm not necessarily seen it at Chelsea. Disassi, I've seen him make quite a few mistakes this season. I'm not sure. The one thing I would say is they don't have Thiago Silva, who I think obviously lacks the pace in the game for 2024, of course. But
But
I think
quality.
in these big moments in these finals, yeah, look how experienced he is. He's probably the most experienced player in the Premier League right now. In fact, he
Yeah.
definitely is. Probably the
No,
most decorated as well.
definitely most decorated. Yeah,
Yeah,
without a doubt, most
100%.
decorated.
So he's a loss for them. Whether even you're just bringing him on to see out extra time or whatever the scenario is, he's a loss for them. So I'm looking at that back four. I'm looking at the keeper. I know the keeper's been brilliant. I think
Yeah,
Chelsea fans have
Petrovic
been
has been
raving about
very good.
Petrovic. Yeah, Gusto I think's had a bit of good form as well.
He's
But I'm
quality.
looking at that back four, mate, and I'm genuinely thinking I'm a lot more confident seeing that on paper because of what we saw in the second half against Luton Town. And I know Luton Town and Chelsea, it's two completely different
Yeah,
scenarios. However, I would be even more confident if Darwin Núñez was available because the big Wembley pitch, the space that he's going to have to get behind that Chelsea back four.
question for
I
you.
Go
You
on.
talking about Nunes?
Yeah.
I said before, if you could only, I said
Hugo
before,
Benz, by the way.
one of them is going to be. I think I could be wrong. It's genuinely just a random opinion. I think one could be available. If you're only getting one, are you going for Salah or Nunes?
Salah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I know what you're saying about Núñez.
No, I've not said a word, but there is a thought there. I love Salah, and I think obviously Salah is literally one of our greatest players of all time. In terms of impact on the game, that game specifically against Chelsea,
I know. That's the point.
I'm curious more than anything. I'm not saying outright that I'd want Nunes. Obviously, I'd want Salah. Salah can produce a big moment. He's literally our biggest player. But I look at Nunes and I go
The
against
system.
Chelsea. And the way he plays within our system and the way he helps everyone else gain space, I just think potentially he could be very impactful in this kind of game.
I
We'll
know.
see. You
I
never
agree.
know. Fingers crossed we have both. If we have both coming off the bench, that could be huge.
I'm
Nunes off the
yeah.
bench.
I'm
Well,
I'm saying Salah again, just because of the know-how, the experience. I think that's always what you're looking for in finals. And if it goes to penalties, I know Salah's missed a few, of course.
but you
Yes,
back him. I
injury,
back him in a shootout.
he's missed a goal. Yeah, but in a final, mate, I'm backing Mo Salah to score a penalty every single time. But
Yeah.
you know, both it remains to be seen. We won't know until that lineup comes out if they're available or not. So it's just a waiting game. You'll see all sorts of ITKs, guys. I would urge anybody on here ignore every single word they have to say.
Unless it's Barry. I back Barry.
Unless it's Barry. If it's Barry, then yeah, listen to it. But
I believe Barry.
yeah, there'll be all sorts of accounts and big ones looking for engagements, and nobody has a clue. At this moment, it's probably leaning towards both of them not being there based on what Paul Joyce has said. But
Yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe, just maybe, there could be a bit of old-fashioned sort of Ferguson-esque mind games being played here. We will see. We will see. We might get onto this towards the end of the stream, Seb. We're probably going to do another 15 minutes or so, but we are going to do a whole show on this once the final and everything else is blown over a bit. Maybe the FA Cup week, because let's face it, we're not going to sit here for an hour talking about Southampton and the FA Cup. We will do a show, of course, but we'll probably do it that week because we're going to talk in depth about Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim.
Might be worth it on the international break.
Yeah, that's a good shot, actually. International break. So subscribe, smash the like, mate, and we'll do the whole thing then. Luke says not feeling any nerves right now, but I know I'll be getting them tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. As soon as they've lined up and whatever stupid songs they play before the game are played, then I believe the nerves will kick in for anyone. Even Mike is saying he's confident. I think when he sees the tomorrow.
I bet all you can ever ask, and you will guarantee you'll get it, is anyone that goes to ground that is supporting Liverpool is you sing your heart out for 90 minutes. And I know you get that no matter what, but you know, sometimes, you know, don't let that moment pass. Give everything you got, because you'll be surprised just how much one voice can make a huge difference. But man, listen, when that game starts building up, I'm working from home tomorrow, so maybe I might have
We're working on cup
I
final
don't
day.
have a choice, but listen, maybe I have some internet connection issue. I don't know. Well,
That's crazy, bro.
I will make it work. Obviously, I'll be sitting downstairs with the final on. There's no doubt about that. I'll have a cup of tea and I'll not a pint, though. It's probably the main difference. But listen, I'm not going to ask for a score prediction because I think that's a bit too dangerous for a final. So what I will ask you, if you were to give me your 5, and guys, do this in the chat, please. I want to see people commenting this in the chat.
5 penalty takers. I was literally about to ask you this.
They look great minds. Who are your 5 penalty takers in order, 1st to 5th? I want to hear Ben's. I want to see everybody's in the chat. Let's go. Ben, give me your 5.
Right. So number 1 is... Oh, I have no idea. Let me pick my 5, and then I might be able to like put it down to order. Yeah,
I can give you my 5 if you want to think.
Right. So 5 in no particular order for now is Virgil van Dijk. He's taking 1. Yep. McAllister 100% taking 1. Yep. Diaz, Gakpo, and Harvey Elliott. They're my 5.
All right. If you were to give you an order,
yeah.
What's your order? Who's 1st to 5th?
I'll probably say Virgil. I'll say McAllister for 5th. So then it's probably going to be Gakpo, Diaz, Elliott, Van Dijk, McAllister.
Okay, I'll raise you. I would say I'd go Maka 1st. I would go Endo 2nd, because I think captain of his country handles pressure really well. I'd back Endo. 3rd, Van Dijk. 4th, Elliott. 5th, Gakpo. That's my 5.
See, the reason why I've gone with McAllister 5th is because if it's a pressure pen, bro's played in the World Cup final.
I genuinely think Gakpo's got like 0 nerves in his body.
But this is what I'm saying. This guy's played in a World Cup final. Do you think a Carabao Cup final at Wembley against Chelsea compared to a World Cup final is going to be anything to this guy?
I agree. Your first penalty taker's got to be a tone setter. It's got to be lethal. And that's why I put McAllister, because I think he'd
Virgil's lethal, mate. You see what he did to Kepa the last time?
That shit.
He literally told him which way he's going to put it. And he put it that way.
That made me panic.
Kepa was literally all the way there, that side of the goal, basically saying, go on, you've got that whole side of the goal to go for. Just like, nah, I'm not going that way. I'm going that way where you're standing, mate.
All right, I want to see them in the chat, though. I need to see what the chat is saying.
Okay, let's go.
Have we got any?
So we've got a few. Luke says Maka 1st, same as you.
There you go, Luke.
2nd, Virgil 3rd, Elliott 4th, and then 5th, Robertson.
I take that. Yeah, Robertson's got a lot of experience at this level. I respect that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. And Seb says 1 Virgil van Dijk, 2 Endo, 3 McAllister, 4. I think I may have done Endo a bit dirty then, but I did say I'd have him at 6th. So
I will say everyone's. Oh, my phone's gone. I'm back.
There we go.
I will say.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, absolutely fell. I will say. I think everybody's got the same idea of the 5, though, haven't we? We all have a similar 5, give or take. So,
yeah, really, like Conor Bradley probably back himself. To be fair,
I'd weirdly back Bradley. Yeah, I would say.
I think if Klopp put the question out to the team, I can see Bradley putting himself forward saying, "I'll take 1."
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And he'd drill it straight down the middle and score, guaranteed. That's why I back the Maka show.
Asim says the Maka show tomorrow. Big up Asim. Big up One and Red. Asim does some amazing stuff with those guys, and obviously his own Twitter as well. So make sure you drop him a follow.
Asim, follow me,
Mike. This is a great segue into your McAllister piece. So talk to us about Alexis McAllister. Talk to us about how important he's going to be tomorrow if we're going to win, mate.
All right, guys. This is going to be the ultimate point scoring if you've ever seen it. Me and Ben were on this show way back in March, literally when I started doing this, which was great opportunity. I'm still here, nearly a year later. Happy days.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that, Ben. Nearly done a year of this with you. All right. I expect a cake come mid-March. We got to March and the links to Maka started happening. Obviously, we signed McAllister. There's Ben, July 30. Alexis McAllister is going to be the signing of the summer. Now, he said that. And then a couple of games in, we sat here and he was questioning it. And I have said since day one, and this is the point scoring, this is the ego of a fragile man that just wants people to go, wow, you were right. From me saying, I think McAllister has been the sign of the summer since day one, and I've been harping on. And it's so nice to see people catching on now to an extent where people realise this lad is genuinely, in my opinion, one of our best midfield signings, so not someone that's came from the academy, but signings since Mascherano or a Fabinho, in the sense they have transformed the team. McAllister is what we thought Thiago was. McAllister is what you want as a perfect midfielder. When you sign Thiago, you know what you want from. We wanted Thiago that we seen between 24 and 28. It's a shame we didn't get that. Injury scuppered it. But that's what McAllister is and is growing into. The passing range, the work rate, the composure, finish at the end of the pitch, defensive ability at the other end, play anywhere in the three. He is a transformational midfielder. You put Szoboszlai in there, Szoboszlai's brilliant, but he's not transformational. McAllister has transformed our midfield, and he sets the tone. And we miss him when he isn't there. So hopefully you see that again on Sunday as well. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just put the team up there for Tim because he's asking what he thinks the 11 will be. I don't think there'll be any changes, mate. To be honest, it would just depend on who can make the bench and who can't. Because at the minute we're looking like it's going to be kids on the bench. Which look for them, it will be the best day of their life. You know, Train Ione, Jaden Dans, Bobby Clark, all of those guys. What a moment for them. But if we want to have a better chance of winning the game, I think we need at least one of Nunes, Salah on the bench. And
to be fair,
yeah,
what a moment if Dans comes off the bench and scores a winner. Like, what a moment that would be.
It'll be an absolute joke. Yeah, this is all I said about him as well. Mike's trying to act like I was like calling him a fraud or something. I never did. And I'm sure I also said part of it is like not even his fault because he was like, you know, being juggled around in positions. 1 week playing as a 6, 1 week playing as 8, 1 week maybe going even further as a 10. But it looks like he wants to play as 8. He looks amazing when Endo's behind him. Endo, what a player. So for me, and he said it himself, that I think he does prefer to play as 8. However, he will just play wherever the manager wants him to play. And for me, that is the mentality of a world-class player, someone that just wants to play wherever on the pitch, as long as they're playing and they're happy. But he obviously does have a preference. And when we do have McAllister and Endo, and then one of the other 3, you know, we see the best of both of them, to be honest. Endo's sensational. McAllister, a joke of a midfielder. To get him for that price as well, we've absolutely fleeced Brighton, Hove Albion there. Mike, I don't even know if there's anything more to say, mate. Do you have any more talking points? And we're going to give a score prediction. We're not going to,
I'm not giving
be cowards and get out. We are. We're giving score predictions. Everyone in the chat, give a score prediction as well. Put Mike under pressure. I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool.
You're saying 2-1 Liverpool? See, Luke and I have been on the same page so far. So, Luke, if you put down, I'm not looking at the chat. So, if we both put the same thing, there you go. I'm going to say
Harvey Elliott's scoring tomorrow before you say that, by the way. Why are you laughing?
I know, it's just you and Harvey Elliott. I love Harvey Elliott too, but
Do you remember the Newcastle fan we had on here? And I told him that Trent was getting an assist to Darwin Núñez.
You were right. Yeah, no, you were right.
I'll telling you, Harvey Elliott is scoring tomorrow. Bookmark it, save this video, at me on Twitter if it doesn't happen. Harvey Elliott is scoring at Wembley Stadium tomorrow in a 2-1 win for Liverpool.
I'm going to say 2-0 win, and I'm going to say, yeah, no, I'm backing it. I'm going to say 2-0 win. I'm going to say the goal scorers are going to be Gakpo and McAllister. There you go.
Of course.
Bold
of us to think there's going to be more than 2 goals when we played them twice in one season and there was no goals across.
Yeah, this could also
500 minutes.
I will say that. I think this could also be one of the games that goes.
Oh, yeah, there's no extra time, right? Or is there in the final?
No, there is extra time. Should be.
Oh.
Yeah, there is extra time.
Is there extra time in the Carabao Cup final? Yeah, there is. There definitely is.
Yeah.
There isn't leading up to the final, though, is there?
Yeah, no, not up to the final. But I genuinely think this could be one of those games which goes all the way, though. Like, if I'm being, predictions aside, like, this is just one of them. We're depleted. Chelsea are depleted, but obviously not to the same extent. And there's questions of, quality differences, obviously. But it's just one of those games. I think they could put a really good defensive setup out there that we struggle to break down. They may not have the quality to break ours down. It could come down to just God forbid, but it could come down to a bad refereeing decision in the end, which would suck. I wouldn't want that for either team. But it's one of those. I think it'll be a very tight game, but we'll see. We'll be back next week. We've got Southampton in the cup. We'll
be back after we win the trophy, mate. Maybe not tomorrow. We might let it blow over and do it on the Monday once. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm having a few drinks tomorrow, so probably
100.
for the best to save it until Monday.
But
whatever happens tomorrow, we'll be here, and
we'll do a late one Monday night. So guys, be here Monday night, 9 o'clock. Me, Ben, and whoever. We're gonna lock in. We're gonna talk about the final. Make sure you come join us. We're gonna want to know your thoughts. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. There you go.
Yeah, take care, people. Wherever you're watching the game tomorrow, if you're going Wembley, if you're watching it at home, if you're watching it at the pub, enjoy it. Cherish every single moment that we have left with this manager, because this is one of 3 more finals. We've got 3 finals max with this manager left, and this is one of them. So just enjoy it. Whatever happens, it's fine. It's not going to define our season.
No.
We'll be okay. But we're going to win anyway, so there's nothing to worry about. Take care and goodbye for now.